The Mario Brothers are taking to the big screen for the first time in 30 years. But does it wahoo, or is it simply game over? Let's find out. Let's go! What's up, Nerdgenic Nation? Aaron Waller here, and today I want to talk about the new Super Mario Bros. Movie from Nintendo and Illumination Entertainment. And in this movie, with the help of Princess Peach, Mario gets ready to square off against the all-powerful Bowser to stop his plans from conquering the world. This animated film has an all-star voice cast, including Chris Pratt as Mario, Charlie Day as Luigi, Jack Black as Bowser, Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Keegan Michael Key as Toad, and a ton of other voices. And being totally honest, the voice cast, for the most part, was actually really good. Sure, Chris Pratt's Mario isn't the greatest, and of course I would have much preferred Charles Martinet, but after a little bit I kind of stopped paying attention to it altogether. But there's also kind of a reason for that, which is because I felt like it just wasn't much of a Mario movie as it was a movie for everyone else. But I'll get to more of that in just a minute. Pratt's voice for the most part was just sort of okay, but he's still very much shadowed for the most part. I'm not entirely sure if that's just reaction to the backlash of his casting and just sort of how his voice sounds, but it just sort of gets pushed to the background, and if you stop paying attention to it and really looking for those nuances and just stop thinking about Charles Martinet for just a minute, if you just let it go on, it's okay. Not the best, but it might be different later on. Charlie Day as Luigi, though, was actually really good, and I would honestly love to see a standalone Luigi's Mansion movie down the line if the studio feels that this was enough of a success, which I don't really see how it couldn't be. Anya Taylor-Joy's Peach was also really great as well, though I felt her story was kind of the same as the 1993 live-action movie, which was a bit disappointing. And even as I was watching the movie, I realized that there were similar story beats to that live-action movie that, even though it's so pandered, I don't know why they copied those specific things almost beat for beat. Even how the Mario Brothers get into the Mushroom Kingdom and this world is almost exactly the same. As for the villain, Jack Black's Bowser, he was absolutely amazing, and I really enjoyed his character, even though he wasn't explored as much as I thought he should have been. Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong was also pretty good, though I feel like Seth Rogen's laugh was the biggest thing to try and get over for me. Really, the entire voice cast was great, and I felt that everyone, for the most part, did a really good job overall. In terms of the overall look of the film, I feel like that was probably one of the best parts. I love the depths of this world, the various kingdoms, the incorporation of powers, and locations like Rainbow Road, though I do wish that some of the aspects were expanded on and explained a little bit further in depth, instead of just saying, here's a bad guy and everyone else in their own areas. I also wasn't a huge fan of what I can only describe as the side-scrolling levels in the training portion of this movie. It looks very odd and out of place in a 3D world as blocks or bricks are just sort of floating in midair randomly, but maybe that's just me nitpicking. In terms of the story, the Super Mario Bros. Movie felt very borrowed. As certain events of the movie played out, it felt like about a dozen other movies that I had seen before, including the live-action film as I mentioned before, the Lego movie, and several others, just with the Nintendo sticker slapped on it and their branding all over the place. And although that was the case and Mario's name is on the film, I felt like this movie shined in just about every area except Mario. He just felt like an afterthought a few times and like he wasn't going through the motions without any real motivation, despite him sort of having to have one in saving Luigi. But unless he reiterated that goal, which he does several times, I kind of forgot that he was helping in the first place. And anytime the story focused on any other character, even Luigi, I enjoyed the movie a lot more. Mario was just rather boring, and for lack of a better phrase, two-dimensional, whereas everyone else was a lot more interesting and entertaining. In fact, I would rather watch more of the other characters, assuming a larger Mario and Nintendoverse spawns out of this, than Mario himself. But maybe he can be revamped for the sequel or even have Pratt re-replaced to make him a little bit less vanilla. And I do hope that there is more to come from this universe. It has massive untapped potential in this day and age of franchises, movies based on other properties, and mostly bad video game movies where this one does a fairly decent job. Overall, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is entertaining enough for a 90-minute kids movie. It has plenty of great nods, music, and visuals, but it has a lot to pack in and could have easily used another 10 to 20 minutes just to flesh out characters and story. But since a kid's attention span isn't long enough for that, it's still okay, and for that reason, I'm going to give Super Mario Bros. Movie a 7 out of 10. I hope that they can only improve on the small things and make any eventual sequels even better, but it's still a good base and enjoyable enough to watch. But those are my thoughts on the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and now I want to hear from you in the Nerdgenic community. What did you think of this movie? Was it as bad as you thought, or did it surprise you? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos from me or the rest of the Nerdgenic team. And also be sure to give us a follow across all social media platforms at Nerdgenic. That way you don't miss out on any special news, announcements, or articles at nerdgenic.com. But in the meantime, if you want even more video content from us, check out these awesome video game videos on screen. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We hope to see you in the next video.